hundreds of women every day complaining about period pain, just masking the pain instead of maybe getting to the root cause.
We just dismiss it as second nature because that's what we're taught. We're not taught to understand it and lean into it and like holistically manage it.
Welcome back to another episode of Self-Dom Beautiful Humans, a safe place to learn and get inspired to live your healthiest and most fulfilling life. I am Dom, your host, and I feel so grateful to be living my passion by getting to interview inspiring and knowledgeable guests. Today we are joined by Stefanie Mitrevski, founder of BeMoody, a brand redefining how we talk about hormones and PMS. With a background in pharmacy, Stefanie created BeMoody to bring honesty, science, and empowerment to menstrual health. Her hero product, the PMS support cycle, is formulated with plant-powered, science-backed ingredients designed to support women through every phase of their cycle. Through her writing and advocacy, Stefanie is breaking down stigma, starting real conversations, and helping women feel seen and supported every day of the month. Hormone health is a topic I love learning about, so I know we will all gain so much from this chat with Steph. Welcome to Self-Dom.
Amazing. That was the best introduction I've ever heard.
Oh my God,
for the
cute.
brand. I love that.
I'm really excited you've flown down from Melbourne to join us, which is so exciting. And you're only 28.
I know.
I'm in
Where
awe.
has the time gone?
No, I'm in awe of founders who are under 30.
Really?
Yes, it's such a big deal to start a business. We were kind of speaking about that off mic. It's no small feat, so I commend you so much.
The time goes so quickly though. Like when I first started, like just the ideation phase, I was like, this is going to take forever. Like when will we ever actually launch something? And now like it's a full thing. It's like its own
it's incredible
entity. I'm like, what the hell? Where did that come from?
You've done it. So let's start with your background. You were in pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Which is such an interesting transition.
I know.
To doing BeMoody.
Yeah.
Where did your love for hormone health start?
So I'm a clinical pharmacist. So I've been a pharmacist for, like 7 years now. Scary to say. But I have always loved working with women. Obviously being a woman, it's natural to be passionate about women's health. And I guess like working with women every single day in a hospital setting, but also in a community pharmacy setting, I just saw like that gap for there was a gap for holistic hormonal health and PMS symptoms. So like, as you would know, as every girl would know, we reach for the naproxenic, we reach for the Panadol, and we don't really understand, well, I'm probably speaking on a broader tone here, but like most women that I worked with or most patients that I came across, they didn't understand the normal like hormonal rhythm of their cycles and how much that dictated how they were feeling.
Yeah, I get it. And I feel like, especially when you're in a pharmacy, you would see hundreds of women every day complaining about period pain, just masking the pain instead of maybe getting to the root cause of their pain.
And we just dismiss it as second nature. Like we dismiss it in ourselves, we dismiss it in the people around us, like our own pain, because that's what we're taught. We're not taught to understand it and lean into it and like holistically manage it. We just sort of, the symptom comes up, we go to the doctor, we jump on the pill, which is a totally fine thing for most people, but for a lot of people it also doesn't work. So
were you on any contraception?
Yeah, I was on the pill for the better part of 8 years, and then I fully came off it. And I guess that's where having my own hormonal health journey started. So really understanding, why do I only have one good week a month where I feel amazing? Like when I was on the pill, I guess I didn't have this because my hormones were suppressed the whole time, and they just I didn't really have those ups and downs. But being on no contraceptive, I guess what I felt was, okay, I have one good week, then I'm a psychopath, then I'm emotional. And then so really harnessing, knowing what my cycles would hold made me feel better, made me want to create something that could help manage that for women.
Yeah, I recently found out the word hysteria. Is your ovaries or something? Or it means it's something like this?
So back, my dates might get mixed up here, but in the 1800s, PMS was called hysteria. Women were diagnosed with hysteria.
But it's from the Latin word of ovaries.
Yes.
It's shocking.
I know.
Isn't it crazy? So it's literally for decades, for centuries.
Yeah.
We've been told it's crazy to have PMS, mask your symptoms.
Absolutely. And women have always just been told to just deal with their pain. We move forward with things. We go on with our daily life. And like, that's what makes us strong women. But I guess we shouldn't have to deal with it all the time. We shouldn't be told to just deal with it. We should know how to manage our symptoms and to ease our months, like to feel better.
So let's go back to your own journey. You went off the pill and then you said you only felt good for 1 week of the month. You were obviously working in pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
What was your experience there?
So I guess I was reaching for the naprogesic. I was just going through the daily grind. And then I started looking into supplements I could take to regulate my cycle because my cycle was really off. It would come every 6 weeks, every 8 weeks, then maybe on the month, like it just wasn't coming like clockwork. I started looking into herbs like chasteberry, which is like actually in PMS cycle support, and other holistic ways to manage my cycle so that when this like the luteal phase came around and I was that like quite up and down in my emotions, I knew how to manage it. I knew how to eat. I knew how to exercise to feel good around that time of my cycle.
So what was involved? How did you feel good when you're in your luteal phase?
I rested. So I didn't try and stress myself out. I really like did my nice relaxing Pilates, and I didn't go to the gym and do like HIIT workouts and like stress myself out. Like I gave myself the grace to rest, which I think a lot of women don't do. We just keep going and going and we push forward and we don't actually realize that a lot of the time during the month, we need to slow it down. We need to listen to our body and listen to what it's asking for, which is sometimes just to like wind it back.
So obviously you've gone from pharmaceuticals to a natural product in your creation because it worked for you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about BeMoody.
Yeah.
So how did you go from being a pharmacist to a founder?
So it all started with my own journey, which we've talked about. And then I had the idea to actually develop a brand and a product that was going to be more than just like a product-based business. So obviously we have our supplement, but we also are like on Instagram we're very loud. We love to provide educational content that's stigma breaking, that's bold, that's unapologetic. And we want to be that type of brand that educates women to empower them to like own their mood, own their cycle, and also have an efficacious product that's science-backed that can help like balance hormones, regulate your mood, and help with all the symptoms of PMS.
Yeah, amazing.
I know.
So then you wanted to make your supplements. What are in them? And how did you figure out what to put in them?
So it was a bit of a balancing game and like a fight of the best ingredients to get into the product. So we worked with really expert formulators. So some were naturopaths, dietitians to create the formula. And we wanted to have a balance of looking after like emotional symptoms, but also physical symptoms. So the physical symptoms we cover are bloating, breast tenderness, cramps, and then we've got emotional symptoms. So irritability, anxiety, sleeplessness. So they're all covered. And our hero product, I guess, is chasteberry. Chasteberry and Chinese peony, lemon balm and chamomile, they all work for the emotional symptoms. And then cramp bark will work for relaxing the uterine lining, so helping with cramps.
So is this a supplement you take every single day?
Every single day of the month, yeah. So it works in the way of like regulating your hormones to balance out PMS symptoms when they come around. So it's got vitamin B6 as well, which helps regulate your cycle.
Yeah, so interesting.
I know.
So what do you recommend girls to do if they were to come to you and they were like, I'm really, really struggling? Is it just the supplements or is it, as you said, like a holistic approach?
It's definitely a holistic approach. So cycle tracking is going to be your number one key to understanding how your body's working. So noting it down in your journal, in your phone, seeing how you feel during these weeks. On the day that your period starts would be the start of like your menstrual phase, so day 1. So then seeing how long your cycle actually lasts, because for a lot of women it's not 28 days, it differs. So really just honing in on what your body's actually doing and how you can holistically support that with science-backed supplements. And with exercise, with food, with how you're managing your workload and your stress and your social life and how much you push yourself. And I guess that seems like a lot of things to count for and a lot of things to do. And realistically, people are like, well, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm too busy. But just starting with cycle tracking, noting down dates, using your good period apps, and then being like, oh, okay, so I'm really emotional during this time, or my cramps are this bad. Like, what's a supplement? Like, what's something that could help me? And then like leaning into founder-led brands that are actually speaking about these things and educating you and like really taking control of your cycle is like what I'm trying to preach through the brands.
Yeah. I think it's so incredible what you're doing.
I know, it's amazing. Like we've launched for 3 months now, and just the reach we've had, like I'm talking to you today. Like I couldn't imagine that when we first started. I was like, it's just snowballed into this amazing brand, like community-led brand. And I'm so proud of it.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I want to dive deeper into PMS as a topic.
Yeah.
When I was doing some research for this episode, I discovered that certain countries like Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, Indonesia, Zambia, China, and Italy are experimenting or have implemented period leave. So, for example, South Korea entitles women to 1 day off per month for menstrual-related issues, and employees must pay for this leave. What are your thoughts on this, and is it something you would like to see in Oz?
Of course it's something I'd love to see in Australia, but we have to kind of control the narrative around it so it's empowering. So we don't want it to feed into the narrative that women are less capable, for lack of a better word, like when they're on their period. We want it to provide women with like autonomy to be able to choose when they need to have a rest, to really lean into their rest and take it seriously. But it's definitely something Australia should follow and implement. I think lots of women would benefit from having this autonomy and being able to choose when they need to switch off and when they can perform their best.
I think there's almost a level of discrimination because for a woman who has a heavy bleed, might be suffering with endo, PCOS. If you're nervous that you're going to bleed through your pants because you're sitting at an office desk,
or you're crippled with cramps,
you shouldn't have to be at the office. Like you should be able to have that leave, whether it's 1 or 2 days of every month. And maybe some months you don't take it and others you do. But I think it's almost discriminating to women that it's not an option.
Absolutely. And it's sort of negating women's health as not being like real health. Like we have a sick day if we've got a migraine or if we've got the flu, like that's normal to take it off. But we would hesitate as women to take it off if we're not feeling it with our periods or if we're having like a really emotional day and we just need that day off. So I think it's heavily stigmatized, and like that's what BeMoody and like what we preach with the brands, stigma breaking topics that we want to normalize. And like we do focus like a lot of that on Instagram. Like we make these really eye-catching headlines in our educational posts, and like we get so many comments, and some of them are women being like, yes, I love this, and other people, we're attracting other comments that are like, well, why, I guess they should make high heels and lipsticks free too, like when we talk about making period products free, like so it is polarizing, but that's the point.
I think it's also very bio-individual.
Yeah.
I think that some women experience this excruciating pain while some people don't. And
it is.
Again, it's just ensuring that everyone's on an even playing field.
Yeah, and I guess as women, we do understand what other women are going through, even if we're not going through it ourselves.
Yeah, it's a bonding experience.
It is a bonding experience.
That's why I was so happy when I got off the pill, because I felt like I could relate to all the different phases of my cycle.
Yeah, and you really feel it. I was literally out with girlfriends last Saturday, and 3 different girls were talking about their cycles and their period not coming on time, and just like it was just like a natural conversation between us, how we just automatically seek each other to chat about these things and to validate our own experiences, and we all validate it for each other, like in my experience, which I love having that community.
And it's so good as a brand like yours because it's empowering women at a young age. Like I'm 30 now, so I love talking about it. I'm very open about it.
Yeah.
But I remember when I first got in my period, I hid it. And I feel like it would be so good to use social media to allow women to be vocal about how they're feeling, not hiding it, bonding. And even like I'm sure when you're going through puberty and stuff like
I know
that.
how scary is it getting your first period?
Yeah, and your hormones are all over the place.
Yeah.
But at least then you can understand why. I want to talk about cycle syncing.
Yeah.
It's such a big thing at the moment.
Yeah.
I actually feel like we're in a revolution right now. Like the women are in a revolution where like we are more creative when we're in our follicular phase and we're more social in our ovulation phase.
Yeah.
And we're in a revolution, and I'm so excited to be, you know, pioneering it with other women like yourself. Has cycle syncing been something you have done personally?
So like cycle syncing, like cycle tracking?
Cycle syncing. So like you eat and you move depending on where you are in your cycle.
I thought you were talking about when you sync with your bestie and you get your period at the same time.
That
and I was
as well.
like, that's such a true phenomenon.
That as well.
I love that.
So do you know much about Alyssa Vitti?
No.
Oh, she's like the head of cycle syncing.
Yeah.
You should definitely read into her because she's incredible. And she's really changed my life.
Yeah.
And yeah, she just talks about how at different phases of your cycle you should eat and move, which you actually sounds like you intuitively were doing.
I was intuitively doing that. So I was resting and eating more protein, menstrual phase, and then follicular phase. You know, you can up the ante. You've got your like energy back, and then you can go out and have your like wild time, and you don't really have to worry, do your HIIT workouts. And then luteal, like we all know the go for that. You've got to put everything down. You've got to eat high protein. I guess high protein meals throughout your entire cycle. That's something that I didn't realize was such an important thing. Like being a girl, my girl dinners were absolutely the only thing that like mattered to me. And then I was like, oh my God.
What was involved in your girl dinners?
My girl dinners just didn't involve protein.
Really?
Yeah.
What were you having?
Just like red sauce pasta.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah. And then I realized how important whole foods were, protein, like just to keep like red meat, and like how much of a factor food played into feeling good all month. And I guess that comes through cycle sync, but also just evolving and like realizing how important your health is like through your like early 20s.
I want to go back to you being a pharmacist.
Yeah.
Did you learn anything about diet when you were a pharmacist?
No.
Isn't that crazy?
No. I know.
Because people would come up to you and be like, you know, let's use period pain. I've got really bad period cramps.
Yeah.
And there was no product like BeMoody to offer.
And I guess like when you go through university and through your clinical practice, like to become a clinician, you don't really focus on holistic choices. Like you look at like pharmaceutical choices and like what's recommended out there, but you aren't really taught about how like natural ways to look after yourself. You go out, like if you're a clinician, you'll go out and do this research yourself if you're interested in it. So I guess that's like where BeMoody spawned out of for me, like realizing there weren't any other options for women for PMS other than to take painkillers. And to drink tea and to rest, I guess. But like where is the hormone regulation coming from? Where is like the autonomy coming from in taking a supplement that's actually efficacious to help you? So
do you sell your supplements at pharmacists?
No.
That I think would be
I know.
the dream.
Very
because
soon.
Then it's like that's where women go when they're in pain.
They do. We're just online from now being such an early brand, but with more brand awareness. And as we get further, like pharmacies are definitely on my radar. I can't wait.
So what is the product line? Is it
just one product, PMS cycle support. But now as we're growing, there'll be our next product, which I can't divulge right now, but it is in the menstrual vaginal health space. So that's a little teaser. I know.
Unreal.
So exciting.
And then your marketing, who's on doing all of that? It's incredible.
Me.
You guys had a billboard.
I know.
I was like, unreal.
It's when you launch, you have to get really crafty with how you're going to appear because obviously I have such a small marketing budget. And big shout out to my partner, Jesse. He helps me so much. He's so creative and he is just like the mastermind behind a lot of the amazing ideas that we put out there. Like he is a gun. And I just doing it scrappy, like listening to other founders as well. Like obviously Raquel Boris, I love her. I watch all her TikToks and she talks a lot about doing it scrappy. And that's what I've done. Like we find these outlandish ideas. And I'm like, oh, that would be really hard to do. And then like people around me are like, well, just do it. Just try, just find a way. And that's how we do it. Like looking at like our Instagram, like a lot of all the content we put out there, like I've made myself. And like I ask friends for help and it's just like come to this amazing end result, like the billboards. How good. Like the photo shoots, how good, like everything that's come out of it has just been the product of like not giving up and just like knowing what we want and not settling for less.
I think also what I love about the BeMoody branding is it's very chic.
It is
because I think
chic.
sometimes period products are marketed like you just have to see the bloated and you've got a pimple and you're not feeling great. But how about we empower women to feel good instead of only 1 week of the month, 75%.
I know. And like that was the whole brief for like why I wanted to start the brand. I wanted to create a brand that women could go to and feel seen, but also be like, oh my God, that's cool. Like this, like I wanted the brand to have its own personality and like through imagery, through the colors, through our tone of voice. Like I just wanted it to be different to like what the supplement industry sells us now, which doesn't really speak to Gen Z or millennial women, like honestly. So
no, I know.
Yeah.
Well, how did you go about making a supplement? Is there so many rules and regulations?
Oh my
Because in
God.
Australia, I know.
Yeah. It is very regulated, which is amazing. And that's why like the Australians are very health conscious. They know what they're putting in their body. They're researching it. We get lots of questions like, okay, so what's actually in this? Is it safe? Like people are asking questions, which is amazing. And it shows a lot of health autonomy. It was very challenging, but coming from this background, I sort of like knew what to do and I could really take control of it myself. So being like right in the formulation, like I was driving it just as much as the formulators were because I know how to read studies, I know how to do my own research. And then manufacturing, like that was a journey finding a manufacturer in Australia because like getting different quotes, I'd never been in that type of industry before. So like I've just learned so much and I feel like the person I was when I started this to now, I'm like, oh my God, like the growth. And sometimes you just don't look back at that growth. Like you just think, oh, I just got to keep going. I got to keep going. Like got to do another product, got to keep, but then you got to look at the now and be like, holy, like what have I done? Like this is amazing.
Yeah.
So it's been such a journey. I've loved it.
Do you have any advice for anyone who's listening who has an idea, they're nervous to start a business?
I think my advice would be do it scared because the time's going to pass anyway. And we all hear this advice all the time, but I've been scared, to be honest with you, this entire process. I've doubted myself. I've like been like, oh, this isn't going to work. No one likes it. But that's just, it's not true. And you have to push past your own mental blocks and be like, well, it is working. People are loving it. People are commenting. People are buying. People are like messaging you, like resonating with your story. So I think if you have a passion, you have to really underline what your why is, because if your why is to just sell products, then I don't think you're going to get very far. You have to have a why. Who are you going to help? Why are you doing this? What's your passion? And if you stick on that why, everything else sort of just comes to fruition, and that's what's happened here.
I love it.
I know.
Can you talk about some beautiful messages you've received?
So messages would be like on Instagram DMs and like TikTok comments. So like people will say, oh my God, like I feel seen. Like I haven't seen this before. Like I love your story. Like you're so young. How did you get here? Just like asking questions and being like, okay, I kind of want to do something like this. How did you even get here? And I love sharing that because that was me at the start of my journey. I was DMing founders and being like, oh my God, I love what you're doing. Like, please help me any way you can. And like now I'm getting that. I'm like, oh my God, you want advice from me? And then like about the product, saying like how much it's helped them, how much it's stabilized their mood, how much they feel more in control in their cycle and how it's actually helping their symptoms. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm shocked because like I know it works, but it's like so validating to see and I just love it.
How long were you taking the supplement for, obviously, when it was being developed?
6 months. So most women will see like a difference after their first or second cycle. So after maybe 4 to 6 weeks.
And then no, for you, sorry.
But
that's a very good thing to outline. But when you were like developing the product, so how long have you been taking it for?
So when did we start? I was taking it 6 months before launch. And then now launch 3 months.
So 9 months.
Yeah.
And you're loving it.
I love it. I don't miss a day. Well, sometimes I miss a day because I'm just a girl. But it's really helped me, and it's so empowering to see that's actually helped other women because like that was the goal all along. And it's become more than just selling a product. It's become like a whole community and a whole brand. And it's like, it's so amazing to see. Like every morning I wake up and I'm like, oh my God.
You love it.
I love it.
With your whole journey, do you feel that you now can go to more natural answers rather than always going to the pharmacy or a doctor?
I feel like there's space for both.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
you need to know when to seek professional help, like when to see a healthcare professional and when you can manage symptoms yourself. And I think the real key is finding a GP or a health practitioner that really like sees you and understands you and can guide you in the way of, oh, you actually don't need a prescription for that. Like, here's some other ways we can help you with that, like holistic ways. Or like, oh, maybe like we should look down the road of prescription medicine. So I think it's like that real fine balance of like being autonomous in your own health and understanding what's out there, knowing when to seek help, and then having a good support system of healthcare practitioners that understand you and what you're going through. So
I definitely think there's room for both.
there's definitely.
I think the main thing though that I learn every time we have a guest on, it's finding the root cause
Yeah.
and figuring out what works for you individually.
Exactly. And sometimes you need a bit of help with that. Sometimes you don't know what the root cause is yourself until you go see a GP, a naturopath, even chatting to your pharmacist. Sometimes like educating yourself will help, like give you that light bulb moment and be like, oh, I was right. Like, yeah, this is what's wrong.
So what are we going to be seeing from BeMoody in the next year?
Big things.
Big things.
So hopefully 2 more products to our line in the menstrual health PMS space, and then a lot more education, community activations, a lot of jarring content that's going to spark conversation. And it's really exciting. We've got a lot of things in the pipeline and we're only 3 months in, so lots of big things to come.
And what stigma do you really want to change in this world? Like, what's
Honestly,
that mission?
I guess the stigma I want to break is a really specific one, and it's women being too much, too emotional, a psycho, quote unquote. And I think that's a really dangerous one because it dims what women really are to their core, and it makes you put yourself down and not present how you really want to be to the world. I know that was a lot of words, but it's just like you're never too much. You have to be true to your authentic self, and you can't let the outside world tell you that you're too emotional, you're too loud, you're too moody. And I guess that's where this is all really come from.
Is that where the name came from?
Yeah. And so really...
You just want us to embrace.
We want you to be
embrace
moody.
Embrace your moody phase.
Embrace it. Embrace who you really are and learn to like harness that moodiness, because it's really a part of being a woman. And if we're told that we can't be moody, how can we express our emotions? It's just all about knowing how to express them and knowing how to handle it properly.
Well, you're incredibly inspiring. You're 28.
Thank you.
You've started BeMoody. You've started a natural brand for women to regulate their hormones,
Yeah.
which is incredible. I always end the podcast with the same question, which is kind of similar to what you answered, but what advice would you give to your younger self?
Oh my God, I really love things to say to that girl. Oh my God. But I think the main thing would be is to learn who your true authentic self is, and don't try and just follow what you think is the right thing other people want you to do. So take a lot of time to be like, what do you like, Steph? Who are you really? What do you want to do? How do you want to present to the world? And don't ever, ever put your dull your sparkle. That is so cringe to say, but
it's cute.
Learn who your true authentic self is, and then unapologetically show up as her, and everyone's always going to love you for that.
So good. I love the confidence. I love the energy. Thank you so much for joining us on the mic. Let us know where we can find you, where we can purchase BeMoody.
BeMoody.com.au is our website, and then BeMoody_co is our Instagram.
Amazing, guys.
Thanks,
Go follow
Dom.
BeMoody. Check out Steph's amazing content. We're so grateful for the opportunity to have you. Thanks for coming
Thank
from
you.
Melbourne. If
Of
you love the
course.
episode, share it. So hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next episode.